Hello YouTube! I think we're ready for a book talk. Don't you think? I think, because book talks are the crap. So what is a book talk? A book talk is basically just me ranting about a book that I really like. Whoa, I'm turning sideways. Well, I shouldn't say it's a book rant. It's more of a... how do I put it? It's just me talking about the book. It's just that a book talk. The name should be pretty self-explanatory. The book we are going to be talking about today is The Hour of the Beast by Lindsay Egar. I don't actually have a copy of the book, like a physical copy, because I have it on Kindle right here, and shoot me if you hate e-readers, I don't. Alright, so The Hour of the Beast. This is one of my new all-time favorites. I just finished it a couple days ago, and oh my goodness, I love it so much. The Hour of the Beast is basically about this girl named Carol. She's the youngest child out of two. She's got an older snobby sister named, oh, what's her name? I hate when I do this. Her name's Alta. So Alta is like her half-sister because her mom got divorced after she had Alta, and then her mom got remarried to her dad. So Carol's mom and dad are together. Alta's mom and dad are divorced, but they share the same mom. You know how it works. Alta basically thinks she's the black sheep of the family, but she's super like popular and gorgeous and looks just like beautiful like Carol's mom is, but Carol feels like she got the ugly duckling kind of thing and doesn't feel like she really belongs with the family and feels like her older sister is trying too hard to feel like she doesn't belong with the family. Their whole family, the four of them, they go and spend the whole summer at their grandfather's ranch house in the desert of New Mexico, which is really... that would kind of suck. I mean, she's going into junior high, and when you're going into junior high, I don't know about you, but when I was going into junior high, I wanted nothing to do with my family during the summertime. I wanted to go out and party and have fun, or like party, you know, like 12-year-old pool parties, you know. But that's just what I wanted to do. When they're there in the summertime, they're fixing up the ranch house, getting ready to send off their grandpa to an old folks' home in the city of Albuquerque. I think it's in Albuquerque, or it's 20 minutes away from Albuquerque. I don't know. And the story is basically Carol trying to learn more about her past and her roots and her grandpa, trying not to be intrigued by the stories her grandpa tells her, but she is. She's entranced by it, and it's cool. If you have not read The Hour of the Beast, stop right here, because you should go read it and then come back to this video and be prepared to gush with me in the comments over everything that I talk about, all the characters and my opinions and thoughts on them. Go do that. So what did I think about Carol? I totally related with Carol. I don't feel like this now, but when I was younger, I definitely felt like I got all the ugly genes in my family. And I thought that just the way that she portrayed it without being whiny, she wasn't whining like her older sister. She had to put up with a lot of crap. I mean, her sister like was so rude to her the whole summer. Nasty, evil older sister kind of thing. And her dad, I mean, her dad's a contractor and he works all hours. And her mom's cool because she is a nurse and she has all these shifts she has to work. When Carol first gets there, her mom actually gives her the kid. Like, this is one of my favorite parts, when she gives her the kid, well, her younger baby brother. That's the other thing I forgot to mention. They have a baby brother. But she gives her the baby brother to hold and watch while they go inside and make sure a few things are okay. And then she actually, like, loses track of the kid, and the kid ends up being, like, underneath the porch, and there's, like, a snake. Like, imagine that. You lose your 2-year-old brother. Just think about that. You lose your 2-year-old brother, and then you find him underneath the porch next to a rattlesnake. How freaking sketchy is that? Again, back to Carol's dad. I felt really bad for him. He does not get along with his dad at all. Like, he ran away when he was a teenager, which is also shown within some of the stories that her grandpa tells her. And he just doesn't like him, and he still is bitter toward him because he thinks that his grandpa or his dad killed his mom. but like not intentionally killed, but just wouldn't take her to the hospital because he was afraid to leave the ranch house. Her grandpa is the heart of this story. It's so cool because he's magic. I mean, well, he's not magic. He just grew up around a magic tree. But let me back up. Let me back up to the ranch house. The ranch house, it used to have this magic tree around it. Her grandpa keeps talking about the drought. The ranch has been in a drought for 100 years, and I mean, 100 years without a drop of rain. And he keeps saying that the bees took the rain, and it took the lake that was next to the ranch house. And all this happened according to his stories that he tells Carol. And Carol's just like, doesn't believe it, the stories. He's telling the stories that happened hundreds of years ago, back when he was a kid, because the tree is kind of like a staff of immortality in a way, which I think is so cool. Like, think about it. You always hear about the Fountain of Youth, but you never hear about a tree being like the life source. And the tree just kept everyone safe, and no one got injured. Well, when they did get injured, they healed miraculously. No one died, and it's just really cool. And the stories that the grandpa tells Carol, he's just relaying all this information. It starts out with this love story between, not a love story, but like a cute little romance thing between two kids. He tells all these things that happened, like when Rosa, oh my gosh, Rosa, his wife, she was the only person in this town back when it was like flourishing, the ranch town, who wanted to leave. When they get married in the story, she made him a blanket, and it was just gorgeous. And then he's like, I didn't get you anything. I want us to go on an adventure. I want us to leave. I want us to do something that you want to do, what you've been longing to do your entire life, which is just get out of here. And I think that's so heartbreaking and cool. And then she asks when they're leaving, and he just never says when. He always pushes it off. He pushes it off, until finally she's just like, dude, I gotta go. I have to get out of here. Are you coming with me? And the grandpa says no. He's not going because he's too afraid of getting hurt or dying, or he's too afraid of the unknown. I think that's like the big moral of the story, which I think is pretty cool. So she's just like, okay, then I'm going. Where she goes when oh my gosh. Before she goes, he goes to the tree and cuts her off a bit of the bark and makes a bracelet for her. And he's like, wear this. I don't know if it'll work, but if it can keep you safe, that's all I want. Just wear this. And she says, okay. And then she goes and doesn't come back. And some of the lines in this book, it just breaks my heart. I can't remember the exact line. A minute without her feels like a year, and it's just so cute. I love it. It's almost cheesy in that sense, but the way that it's written makes it seem magical and not cheesy, which is what I love about this story. In the midst of all these stories, Carol's kind of figuring out who she is as a person. She's changing. She's developing. I mean, she doesn't feel like she has to be like her friends who she's texting all summer, that she wished she was with at the beginning of the summer. As she's changing, she's learning about her roots. Like her grandpa, he's like, why do you spit on your roots? Why do you say that your name is Carol when it's Carolina? At first she thinks he's weird, and then she's like, wow, why am I? I don't know anything. Oh, the coolest part, I love the part when she goes into her grandma's room and opens a closet to clean it out, I think. At first she hears a buzzing, and she's like, whoa, is it the bees? Is it the bees that I keep seeing? Because the bees keep following her around, because she's basically like a reincarnation of Rosa. At first she's like, no, it can't be bees. And then she opens the closet and just a swarm of them come out. And you're like, whoa, what the hell? But then people come in and they're like, Carol, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. But in there is all of Grandma's or Rosa's adventure stuff from when she left. And when Rosa comes back, she's totally fine because that bark saved her. That bark saved her. The piece of bark that he freaking cut from that tree. Of course, people, when they find something that they think can benefit them, they take advantage of it. So they took advantage of this tree and just cut it down. And like all of the stories, they start with once upon a time there was a tree. And then at the end of one of the stories, it's once upon a time there was a tree. They cut it down. It breaks your heart. So anyways, at the end of the summer, I don't know, I loved when Carol she comes to the realization that this place is her home. This is where her roots are. Why are they selling this place? Why are they going to sell it? And they're probably going to tear down the ranch house. And her family's just like, get in the car. We got to go. We're sick of it here. And she just has a meltdown. She's a little temper tantrum, and her sister's being a brat. And then she eventually is like forced to leave. And they take her grandpa and his stories to the nursing home. The whole family goes to the nursing home where her grandpa is sedated and like all drugged up because he has dementia. It just makes you want to cry. But sure, he was a bitter old butt the whole summer who was only nice to Carol, but he really cared about everyone beneath it all. You get there and he's tied up and sedated, and everyone keeps saying that this is normal. And no one cares except for Carol. Carol goes to school and nothing is right. She doesn't fit in with her friends anymore because she's changed. She found the piece of bark that her grandpa carved for Carol in the closet with the giant bees. Finally, she freaks out. She's like, I need to know the end of the freaking story, god damn it. So she goes in the middle of the night and steals her sister's car and just drives down there to see her grandpa. And I'm just freaking out over here in the chair like, oh my god, you're 12 years old, you're driving a car? She breaks her grandpa out of the nursing home and they drive 3 hours in the middle of the night in a freaking rainstorm. That's the other thing. The moment they leave, the bees bring back the water. They bring back the lake. They bring back the rain. And they drive down to the ranch house, which is now flooded. They crash into the lake that's now back from the freaking bees, and then they black out. And then she wakes up, and of course the ambulance comes after their parents finally find them. They go back to the hospital. They say their final goodbyes. I was in Starbucks when I finished this book, and I started crying. This whole story, I mean, her grandpa's so terrified of dying. He was so afraid of dying that he forgot to live, and I think that a lot of us almost live that way, maybe not fearing death, but fearing just like failure in a way, because death and failure I feel like are kind of correlated. In the end, they moved back to the ranch house, and they had to tear it down and build a new one because it was falling apart, but it was okay because they kept their land, they kept their roots, and the bees returned, the rain returned, everything was okay in the end, even though their grandpa faced death, which was his biggest fear. So that is my book talk for today, my first ever book talk for The Hour of the Bees. Please, if you watched all of this and haven't read it, you should still read it. And it's also middle grade, but you know what? Sometimes books with 12-year-old protagonists are the best, like Percy Jackson, Harry Potter. Sometimes those books are just the best. I'm sorry. Kind of how it is. Alright, well I hope to see you guys next time. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Follow me on social media. All links are in the description. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.